All right, here we go. All right. I am recording. I am going to try sharing my screen really quickly. All right. Does that come up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it look all right?
Yeah. It looks beautiful.
Okay. All right. All right. So really quickly, I have not had the chance to post this yet today. So I thought since I haven't posted it yet, I'm just going to talk about it right now. All right. So this is our board for the month thus far. We still have less than a week. Let's see. We've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 more days, y'all. I used to always hit Success Club at the end of the month. Always, always, always. So I know from experience and for a fact that it is absolutely 100% totally possible. I put up a video the other day that has like top coaches talking about some of their tips. So watch that if you haven't. But congratulations to Ashley Davis. She is at SC8. Mary and myself are at SC6. Jennifer Fisher, SC4. Then we have Deborah, Colleen, Brittany, Brooke, Dee, Scott. Not really. Jen Towner and Megan at SC2. And I think Jen Towner actually just had a share card go out.
I'm at 4.
Okay, Jen Towner is actually at 4. So I also want to give a really humongous shout out to Ashley and Mary. They have unofficially just hit Success Starters. They both have just hit Success Club for their 3rd month in a row as a new coach, which is huge. That means they have now earned their free ticket to Summit. That also means, y'all, this is the crazy, huge, amazing part that that like once you start looking at elite reports and understanding elite points. So this means that Mary just contributed 27 points. 27 points. Like that blows my mind. Ashley just contributed 27 points to her team and trying to push for Premier and Elite. Like it's insane. It's insane. That is so much and just so amazing. So congrats to both of you. And now in case you forgot, I should have started the call off with this. In case you missed it, we are officially a Premier team. I'll show you. I've got proof. We're officially Premier. Let me stop sharing my screen. So officially Premier, that's a total group effort. I couldn't do it without y'all. Like, again, like I'm getting 1 point at a time. Mary just got freaking 27 points. Ashley Davis just got 27 points. Like I scrape and scratch and get 1 point, so like it is such a group effort. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I want to turn it over to Lauren. And y'all, Lauren, she's one of my favorite people. Like, honestly, I mean, look at her. She just, when you see people and they just like have this glow and this magnetism about them. And like, that is Lauren. And I'm going to let her tell her story, but I just have to like let y'all know how amazingly insane it is. She signed up to be a coach like at the end of January, and she's in Maggie Marlowe's downline, which Maggie and I started coaching together. She's one of my very dear best friends. And Maggie, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, Maggie reached out to Lauren and was like, you need to do Team Cup with us. And I think Lauren was like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Like, no, She was very hesitant. She was probably skeptical, and she was like, no, no, I just no, just don't want to do this. And Maggie said, come on, just do it. All you have to do is bring on 3 people. Guess how many people she brought on that month? 17.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, like, I can't even remember exactly what we said, but like something clicked along the way. And like, Lauren was like, oh, okay. And y'all, she was coachable, 100% coachable, she didn't try to do things her own way. She literally was like, whatever we said and whatever we recommended, like she went out and freaking did it. And not only did it, but she did it like by times 5 or 10. So she ended up hitting diamond in a very short amount of time. Like when I asked her, I was like, how long did it take you to hit diamond? She was like, I don't know, like 30 days. And like, if like I would count, like that would be something, I mean, y'all know, everybody knows I was Moira's first diamond. And I totally joke about it because I'm like, I was the first, like, Lauren, if I were you, I'd count the days and I would be like, I hit diamond in 32 days. Like, boom. Like, it's just so huge, y'all. So huge. So I'm going to turn it over to her. She works full time. She has kids. She's busy and she's killing it. She's totally killing it. So I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let you take over.
Well, thank you.
Let me mute some people and I'm going to mute myself.
Well, Cece, I mean, I cannot thank you enough for that. I mean, like an intro like that, like how can you not be like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I am so super excited. Cece is one of my favorite. When I got on Quad Squad calls in the very beginning, I was like, oh, speak to me. Like, just tell me all of the things and I'm going to listen to all of them. To have this evolve it's incredible. So just a little bit about me. My name is Lauren Nelson, for everybody who doesn't know me. I started coaching in the end of January this year. I started coaching after I had my second kid. I have 2 boys, one is 10 and one is 18 months. And after my second baby, it just was not right with me. I didn't recognize myself mentally, physically, emotionally. I was lost. I was completely lost, struggling with postpartum depression. And I knew I needed something for myself to get myself out of that funk. So the first thing I sought was professional help. And then I was like, I need to get back to me. So I signed up to coach really just for the discount. It was strictly discount. I did not have time to run a business. I had 2 kids. I work full time. I have a husband. No way. But then I was convinced, right? I was kind of convinced into it. So it just happened to be that February was Team Cup, as Cece was saying. And I was terrified of Team Cup because my biggest fear was being the weak link on my team and letting everybody else down. So I had no idea what I was doing. And I thought, okay. And everybody on my team was like, let's do SC30 as our goal. And I was like, SC30, like, okay, that's great. We can do it. Okay. And it was really the thought, it wasn't like I had this huge why. It was more of, man, I cannot be the only one that does not hit this. So I really, the one thing that I can say that you will hear on every call, on every training, everything, be coachable, right? So I got on every team call I could get on and I took notes, like everybody saying anything. It was like, okay, yes, you need me to invite every day. Tell me how many and I'm going to do it. Okay, you need me to follow up with people? I should make it my own? Okay, I'll do that. How do I do it? Oh, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay. And I literally just took the time every day to make it my own, right? Like I wanted something to own because that was my biggest struggle. I didn't own anything at that time. I didn't own my body. I didn't own my mind. I didn't own anything. And this was the one thing that I could own. So I took my time every night and I locked myself in my bedroom and I had my phone and I had a notebook and I just started inviting. Did I know what I was saying? Absolutely not. But I asked for tips. I asked for help. And it was really started with hey, this is my journey. This is what I'm doing. Who wants to do it with me? Who wants to support this journey? Who wants to come with me? And I reached out to my really warm market first. My first coach was my husband, and my second coach was my mom. So I definitely started with that warm market, like everybody tells you to do. And I just went from there. And I told my husband, I am doing this. I need this for me. And so every night I devoted an hour where I shut my door to my bedroom with my phone, with my notebook. And I literally went down my friends list on Facebook and I was like, hi, how are you? This is this awesome thing that I'm doing. Do you want to do it with me? And it was nerve-wracking at first, right? Like I had to get over the nerves of talking to these people that I had not talked to in years. I had to get over the people pleaser mentality of like, I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to, I don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable by having to say no to me. I was very concerned about other people and how they felt. And so every night before I would invite, I would turn on music. And it would get me in this headspace of like, okay, I got this, right? So it was anything that I could do to get myself in the right mindset to be positive and to think like, okay, I have something awesome to share with other people. And that's what I'm going to do. So I would drink Energize every night. I would listen to my music and I would not sleep and I would invite. And
I was going to ask if you slept.
No, but it helped because my baby wasn't sleeping either. So
there you go.
At least with the Energize, I was awake.
Yeah.
But really, and honestly and truly, it was that fuel that really lit my fire to not be the weak link on my team for Team Cup. And that's what really started the momentum going for coaching for me. And that really made me feel like, okay, this is something that I can do. And then what fueled my fire was my clients, right? Seeing their results, having messages in my inbox like, thank you for doing this for me. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for giving me my life back. And by giving them their lives back, I was getting my own life back. I was coming back to life. My marriage got better. I was present for my children. Like I wasn't miserable and a shell anymore. And really that has been the catalyst to just keep going, because it's not even so much for me anymore. It's for the other people. It is for those messages that I get. Thank you for giving me my life back. And that is what we do. That's what we do. And that's what keeps me, when I get in that mindset of, I don't want to bother somebody by sending them a message. I have to remember, we have something that could change their lives. Like we have something that could give them their lives back. And so I'm just going to message them. I heard somebody beep.
It was Jen. It was Jen popping in.
Jen, you got home from work. So yeah, that really like the Team Cup just kind of fueled me to keep going. And I did. I did not know what I was doing building a diamond. I didn't know. I was just signing people up, and I had very much help from Maggie. I would send her a message and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Is this right? And she was like, yes, keep going. Yes, that's right. And so that first week in March, I popped my diamond, and it was incredible. And I have kept my diamond, and now I'm going for 1 star. So we're just going to keep doing all the things, right? Like that's what we do. I will say one of the biggest things for me has been mindset and personal development, because I have always been a pretty positive person, so I didn't really think I needed that. And then I realized how much I get into my head about things. And working on my mindset has been the biggest shift in my business. It has been the thing that has allowed me to keep my diamond, to move forward, to continue to invite when we don't have something like a team cup going on. I actually take a picture. So I have the Rise Up Planner where I have my vision, and I actually take a picture. I have it on my cell phone. So even if I don't have my planner with me, I can read my vision before I send some invites. So I work in pockets of time. I work full time. I have 2 kids and I have a husband, and sometimes they like to see me. So in the morning, I get up, I drink my Energize, do my personal development, I do my mom crack karaoke, I do my workouts, and then actually while I'm getting ready for work, I add to my market, right? So that is something that I can do while I'm blow drying my hair. Facebook makes it very easy for us. Like, here's your suggested friends. So I can go through and add to my market as I'm getting ready. And then I have checked the first thing off my tracker for the day. Like, yes, I've gotten up, I've added to my market. Yes. And then
so efficient. That is so
well,
efficient.
it has to be, right? Like I have to work efficiently. We are all busy. And so we have to work efficiently. So I add to my market while I'm getting ready for work. During my work day, I actually eat from my desk a lot of times, or I will go out to lunch by myself. And I take my notebook and I take my phone with me, and I have my tracker to invite my people. And then I do my follow-ups. So I'll do that on my lunch hour. And I usually make it a goal to invite 25 people during that lunch hour, and then follow up from the people that I have worked with, that I've been chatting with. I always try and get my social media post up before lunchtime, because most people are on social media at lunch, right? That's when they're scrolling through. So I have found that I get my audience a lot during lunchtime. So I try and get my posts up before lunch. And then when I get home from work, I do family time, dinner time, bath time. My husband is amazing. He has stepped up so much. So he does bedtime a lot of times so I can get on calls. But at nighttime is when I do my commenting from the likes, my inviting from the likes on my social media posts that I put up that day. And really working within that time structure has helped me to get all of those things that are on our vital behaviors, that are in our tracker, really every day. Weekends are my time. That is my time. I never, ever thought I would be somebody who sets an alarm on the weekends. I don't even like setting an alarm during the week, but I set my alarm on the weekends so that I can get up before my family gets up, so that I have uninterrupted time to really invite. Sunday morning is a big invite day for me. That's when I get bulk invites out. That way I have ensured that if my week goes haywire at work and I can't take a lunch break, I have gotten my invites out. So Sunday morning, I get up 6 o'clock. My family is not up. No one else is really up. So I can send those invites without getting interrupted by those messages coming back, because I get easily squirreled. So I don't have to worry about that. If everybody's sleeping, I can invite all of these people. They will wake up to a nice message from me, and then we can continue our conversations. But really, it is about finding those pockets of time and staying committed to doing it, right? It's that commitment to doing it, because you can find those pockets of time and then you can be like, well, I'm just going to go out to lunch with my coworkers today, or I'm going to sleep in. And then all of a sudden you have put off and put off and put off. And before you know it, you've gone a week and you haven't invited one person. Mm-hmm. And I'll admit, I did that in the month of June, and I felt it. I felt it hard. Mm-hmm. And I decided that I was not going to let that happen again because I did not like that feeling. So I made a commitment that every morning while I was getting ready, I was going to add to my network. Every day at lunch, I was going to invite. Every day after work, after dinner, after kids and family time, I was going to get on a team call and listen to trainings. And then I was going to follow up because that's what I want to do. I have this goal. I know what I want to do. I want to be able to be home with my babies. That's the ultimate goal, is to be home with my babies. So if I have to set an alarm to get up on Saturday and Sunday mornings right now so that I can invite, I'm going to do that because that's totally worth it for me. And
y'all, that was the biggest thing that struck me. We had a call, I don't know what month that was, several months ago. And you were like,
yeah.
I've been waking up on Sundays and setting an alarm. And my mind was blown because I had never thought about doing that. I mean, what are weekends for? They're for sleeping in.
Yeah.
You know, I've always said, well, I set an alarm Monday through Friday. I don't set an alarm Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, that one simple act of her just deciding to set an alarm and wake up before her entire family, she has that quiet time by herself. And I think the brilliant part of this is that ain't nobody up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. So she can just mass invite without people responding. And I know a lot of times like you want people to respond, but the problem is if you're in a good flow and you're inviting and people start responding, or you see a no, or you see 5 no's, then you stop. But on Sunday morning, when you are inviting at 6 a.m. and nobody's up and you're just able to crank, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, 50 invitations out without interruption from the phone ringing, with emails coming in. Like, I just thought that was so brilliant for you to do that on a Sunday morning. Like that
Thank you. Yes. People are feeling fluffy from the weekend. You're darn right. Because people are like, woo, I'm not feeling so good. I hit it a little too hard this weekend. But honestly, that has been really my saving grace, is because I work full time, because I have 2 kids and I want to spend time with my family, but I also want to grow this business. Right. And for me to be able to do that, I need to make the sacrifice. And if the sacrifice is getting up early on a Sunday, then that's a sacrifice I'm going to do. And it also shows other women that work full time and have kids and want to see their families that they can do the same thing. Right. I'm not getting up crazy early on Sundays. I'm waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I go downstairs, I make my coffee. I invite, and like, just like Cece said, you can get into a groove. We all know it. Like once you start inviting and you're like, oh yeah, I got this. I make it my goal on Sunday to send out 100 invites. Wow. And it is because, and the reason, I know that sounds crazy or anything like that, but that is to me to cover my bases in case my work week gets crazy, right? I want to be on my team calls. I want to be hanging out with my kiddos. I play tennis a couple nights a week. So I need to make sure that I got this in before all of that stuff. Because if you treat this like a hobby, it's going to stay a hobby. And if you treat it like a business, it will be a business and you will grow it. And that's what I want to do. So I know where I want to go. I know what my end game is. And my end game is to have this as a full-time business so that I don't have to worry about waking up on Monday to go to my full-time job. That's what I want to do. And so I make it my non-negotiable Sunday morning. I mean, I've even told my husband, if he comes down early, I'm like, don't talk to me. I'm not done yet. Don't talk to me, because he knows, like, this is what I'm doing. And it's one of those things. If you figure out what is important to you, why you want to do this, if you are reminded of that, it will make it easier for you to get up in the morning. It will make it easier for you to send those invites. And then you just keep doing it. That's all. You just keep doing it. Just keep doing the things. Keep showing up every day. Because another thing, I know I'm going on all these tangents, but now I'm getting excited. The Energize is really kicking in. But y'all, people are watching. They may never say anything to you. They may never like one of your photos. They may nothing, but they are watching. So if you show up every day and you send an invite to somebody who you haven't spoken to, I can guarantee they have seen what you're doing. And if they haven't seen, they're going to start watching because they're like, oh, this person sent me an invite. I'm not going to answer. But the first thing they're going to do is go to your social media and see what you're talking about. That's the first thing. If somebody sends you a message, what's the first thing you do? You go to their profile. So you got to be showing up. And it's just being consistent, listening to your coaches, doing the things and showing up for other people because y'all, we are changing people's lives. Like we really, really are. It's not just a weight loss thing. It is a confidence. It is a life-changing thing that we are doing. So.
Amen. You are so good. I mean, my most favorite thing that you said, I wrote it down, and it's something that I've never been able to put into words, but I think it encompasses potentially everyone's why to a certain degree, that I wanted something to own.
Yeah.
Like that is so powerful. Like there were, I when I started this, I didn't, I had nothing for me. I was not working. I had no money. I just had kids. I mean, I say just had kids, but but I wanted something for me.
Yeah.
I wanted something for me. And that is okay to have, y'all. And if you don't think that's okay, and that's the PD you need to do. But I love also that you said that you were a positive person, and that you would think that a positive person like probably wouldn't need a lot of PD. But you heard her talk about like things like, she didn't want to come across as like bothering anybody and like things like that. Like you can be positive, but there are still things that you can work on, like limiting beliefs or, whatever. But that is just so good. All right. What are y'all's questions for Lauren?
Don't everybody raise your hand at once.
Do you use the BAT or do you use Rise Up? Like, how do you organize yourself? If you have 100 people, where do you do that?
Yeah, so I have my Rise Up planner, and that's how I actually schedule out my time. But I also carry a notebook with me because sometimes the Rise Up planner is just a little bit bulky for me to carry. So I have a little like composition notebook, just really, really simple. And you'll see my names. And I just wrote them down and I circled them if they showed interest. And it is really that simple. My system is not sophisticated. It is easy for me to follow. I put the date down every day. And that way, when I go back to do my follow-ups, I just flip the page back and I start over. And that's when I do my follow-ups. So I'll do all of my invites on Sunday. That way I have 100 people to follow up with during the week. And then during the week, if I'm doing my inviting on Saturday, I have almost 200 people that I can follow up with if I wanted to on Saturdays. So that way I have, and even if I don't hear back from them, I still follow up. Like, hey, just wanted to make sure you got my message. And it's not, yes, dear. I can't hear you.
You finish. I have a question. I raise my hand.
But really, it's a very simple system that I use to figure out who I am inviting and who I need to follow up with. It's really that simple. Jan Towner.
Okay, so your list of people that you make on whenever. Are those like people you know or people who are following you on Instagram, or is it a mix, or how do you determine who goes on the list?
Okay, so my first really my list, I don't do it like traditionally. I know a lot of people make a list ahead of time, and some days I do that. Like on Sunday mornings when I have a lot of time, I will make a list ahead of time. But this list is a list of people who have liked my post or commented on my post or watched my stories or a poll in Instagram. Even if they didn't vote on it, if they watched the poll, I send them a message. So this is just a list to keep track of who I have invited. And that's what I do. And then once I'm done with those people, I go down my Facebook list. I start at the A's and I go down my Facebook list to just send that invite. And a lot of people, that's how I've actually gotten quite a bit of my clients. It's people that I haven't spoken to in a while, and they have seen my social media, and it's just reaching out, and you just can't be scared to send the invite. You just send it and go. I'm changing people's lives. Send. Like and sometimes that's what you have to do, right? There are some days when you sit down and you're like, yeah, I got this. I'm going to invite everybody and this is amazing. And then there are other days where you're like, ooh, I don't know, maybe I could do a load of laundry, but you have to still do it. And so you have to prep yourself. That's why I listen to music. That's why I drink my Energize. And sometimes I will say to myself before I send an invite, like, you could change this person's life. Send. Right? They might need this. Send. And you just keep going. And then as soon as you get into it, we all know you get into that rhythm. And once you get into that rhythm, you're like, yeah, I got this. I'm changing everybody's lives today. So, hi, Jen.
Hi, I have a question. How much time, Laura, and this has been so great. Thank you so much for being on our call.
Thank you. Y'all, I'm sweating.
How much time do you spend connecting, and how do you connect?
So with my connections, that's something that I've really started to just focus on because I've gone through my list of Facebook people. So like I said, every morning I go through my suggested friends. My goal is 20 people to connect with in a day. So I will connect with those people and I will hit requests, send requests. And then once I see that they've accepted my friend request, I just go to their profile and I will like a picture or two. I'll comment on something and really kind of get the ball rolling. So that way, when I invite them, it's not really like out of the blue. And that's what I try and do is as soon as I see that they have accepted my friend request, that's when I go to their profile. Because one of the things that I'm working on getting better at is having a system of connecting with these people. So if I send 20 friend requests, I need to know how many of them have accepted my friend request and who I need to go see and talk to and love on a little bit. So when I send them an invite, they're like, who is this stranger? So that's something I'm working on right now, is really getting that system kind of down, is writing those people down, like connected with that, and making sure that I check off, like, did I go to their profile? Yes. Even if they're not friends with me, even if they haven't, accepted my request yet, to just go and like something so that when they see my friend request, they're like, oh, this isn't a total stranger. So that's what I'm trying to do. For Instagram, I do 21 Social. And I'll be honest, I'll be totally honest. Instagram, I haven't done a lot of inviting. My market right now is on Facebook, and that's where I know. And so really that's what I stick with, because I know those are my people right now. Those are my people, but I don't want to ignore Instagram because I want to continue growing that market, right? Because there I can reach people that I've never met before. So I really focus my inviting on Facebook, but whomever sends me a like on Instagram, I have a quick like or a quick response for all of those people who send me, and that's bing, 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 bing. You all just got an invite. Thank you very much. But really Facebook is where I focus on building that relationship, because right now I feel like I'm still very much in my warm market. And so I want to foster that first. I don't want to abandon that, but I don't want to forget my Instagram people. So.
Yeah. And I just want to jump in and say that I like how you said that, like, you don't want to ignore Instagram by any means, because I have some friends that are on Instagram, but not on Facebook.
Right.
But I did not grow Instagram. I didn't focus on Instagram. I didn't spend time inviting on Instagram until I was over 3 years in.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, 3 years. I grew my business from Facebook. 100% from Facebook.
That's exactly. I have invited people on Instagram, and I've started some really great conversations, and there are a few people that I do think will eventually become clients. But right now I am fostering my relationships on Facebook.
Absolutely.
I am absolutely.
Yeah. For new coaches, your warm market, number one, it's bigger than you think. Mm-hmm. And number two, so that means it lasts longer than you think. Like,
it
really,
does.
I could still be in my warm market. I really could, until I have however many friends I have on Facebook try this out. Like, I really could still be in my warm market. Totally. And I'm really not even in my cold market all that much. I just, run ads now because I have the luxury of being able to do that because I'm investing that money. But in the beginning, 100% Facebook, 100% building relationship, 100% building, growing my network every single day and expanding my network and going back. I cannot tell you how many years I went back to my handwritten memory jogger form. Like, how many years I went back there, because there were times, I have to admit, I would think, I don't feel like inviting this person. I'm a little scared of them. And so I'd still leave them on my list, but I would jump down to somebody a little easier, And another tip that I want to give y'all, that I'm glad you brought this up. I have forgotten. It's been a while since I've done this, but when you go into your Facebook messages, this is what I used to do all the time. So for 1 week, I'd go in and I'd tap the letter A, and I would go through, and of course, the first 3 people that pop up are coaches right now. But like, I would go through and I would send a message to every single person. And then I'd type in B, and then I'd go through and send a message to every single person.
Yeah.
And then when I would do the next week, I'd start with Z, and I'd go backwards up the alphabet, because what'll happen is, you'll get through A, B, C, D, E, but you'll never get to like the W's. So
the J's don't get a whole lot of love because they're right in the middle.
No. So I mean, truly, y'all, that is something that I would do. And I would look through and be like, because there are going to be people you forget. There are going to be people that fall through the cracks that either you invited or you haven't thought to invite, or you haven't followed up with, or you just forgot you were friends with them. And I'm telling you, it's so powerful just to go through and do this. Truly, truly. Like, there are probably.
And that's when you'll really feel like, oh, I do have a lot of people that I could invite. Like, I had no idea. And that's also a really great thing, because it will jog your memory of whether you've invited them in the past, because it's all still there on Messenger. So I do that quite a bit. And it's like, oh, there have been times where, sad to say, I have gone through in my Messenger and looked, and it's like, oh, I never followed up with that person. Well, darn. And that's hit me once or twice. And I'm like, oh, I have got to get better at writing down every single person and coming up with my system of circling their names if they showed interest. And really, the fortune is in the follow-up. I mean, we hear it all the time, but it is so true. We hear it all the time because it's so true. The fortune is in the follow-up. So, I mean, going through my Facebook messages, the one thing that I would suggest before you're going to sit down. So I sometimes will go through and hit A on my Messenger, but I go through my friends list, because I always like to check people's profile before I send them a message, because I actually was about to send a girl a message, and I am so thankful that I didn't, because I looked on her profile and her son had passed away. and I would have felt horrible if I had been like, hey, how are you? I'm on this new fitness journey. Do you want to join me? Right? Like, I'm sure people are understanding, but it's always good to just go and check their profile, see what's been going on in their life before you send them a message, because it can also give some connective tissue when you send them a message like, oh my gosh, your new puppy is adorable, right? Or I see you just went to the beach. Was it amazing? So you have that conversation where it's not just an invite.
Absolutely. That's such a good reminder.
Simple as that. Like just as simple as just looking at their Facebook profile. And it does not take that much extra time at all. But it can be so worth it to do that.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
So I do all the things.
Actually, Lauren, I do. So you work full time and so do I. How do you schedule what times you can follow up with people? I'm having a hard time balancing the two. I can't multitask and do this and my job. So how do you do that?
Right. I honestly, I am lucky where there are times when I am at work where I try not to. So what I do is I have an hour each night when I get home, and sometimes it's late. So I will have all of the list of the people that I invited, and that is the list that I go off of for my follow-ups. So I'll go through my messages. I'll answer any messages that I may have missed during the day that came in, and I will follow up with those people that I invited. So I take that hour time, because that's really the evenings after kids go to bed, after dinner. That is when I have my time. And so I try and consistently have that hour to do any follow-ups, any message responses, and it really is just non-negotiable for me. I haven't watched TV in a long time since the beginning of January.
Yeah. And I used to sit around at night and the news would be on, just on a like continuous thing, or some news show or some like 2020. And that's always what was on my TV. And I would hear about murders and bombings and bad things. Yeah. The TV is never on now. Like, I don't even know if I know how to turn it on most days. Like, I know how to get to Beachbody On Demand and I do my workouts, but that was one of the things I cut out. TV, gone. Done.
Yeah. And so I really just take that hour in the evening. And I have my notebook of the list of people that I have invited. I also use that hour of time for to invite anybody that has liked or commented on my social media post during the day, because it's fresh in their mind that they gave me support. So that's when I try and do it. So the evenings is my follow-up time. So if you write down the people that you've invited, you take that list, and in the evenings, that's when you follow up with them. And it can be a simple. Do you have scripts that you have?
Yeah, I have some scripts. It's just, I think my thing is if somebody responds, I feel like I can't make them wait. And so I've gotten myself into trouble of, I have to respond to them because they responded to me. And I have to really be more diligent about that.
I struggled with the same thing, which is why I started my Sunday morning ritual, because I always felt like, oh my gosh, somebody responded to me. I have to get them right now or they're not going to sign up. But that's not the case, because if they're interested, they're going to be interested. Now, I wouldn't make them wait for a week, but that's when you take that time in the evening. You do all of those follow-ups together in one chunk. So you get yourself in a group, and that way you're not missing anybody. And you can really start those conversations. So if you have that hour, you go through, you do your follow-ups, then you respond to those messages that have come in. So you can have that time for those conversations. So you can answer any questions they have. You can send out your share cards for all those people that want to join you. And then that's how I do it, because I very much would see my phone during the day and be like, did they say yes?
Yeah,
I should message them right now. And I can't do that, because that would get me really disorganized. right? That's how I wound up missing messages, is because someone would respond to me, I would open it up, and then I wouldn't see it when I went back that night. So I wouldn't see it as a message.
A new message.
That's how I
Yeah.
miss people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I try not to do that.
One of the things that I used to do in the beginning, I probably should get back to this, I would turn off notifications.
Mm-hmm.
Turn off notifications so things don't pop up. Also, I don't know if you realize this, but you can mute threads.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been times that I have invited and then I'll go mute, invite, mute, so that I don't get a notification and I don't see when they respond back to me, because I was just getting so like, I think it's kind of the nature of social media sometimes these days that you just expect it. But again, take a deep breath. Like I think that if everybody were to just try, okay, like in the mornings, I invite. In the evenings, I follow up.
Yeah.
And if someone responds while you're inviting, like you continue and you keep inviting. Like, yes, Jen.
Yeah. I have a statement because I work full time as well. And I thought I was doing all the things, but I realized I wasn't doing all the things. So I realized that I could get up a half an hour early and do a power hour. So I do a power hour every morning starting at 5:30 here in Seattle until 6:30. And then I do my workout and then I get ready for work and then I go to work. And so I'm not like Lauren. I cannot stay up late. I'm usually in bed before 9.
I only give myself an hour.
But and then also, if you have a lunch hour, I actually take my laptop to my office with me and work during my lunch hour. But and also, if you need help focusing in on what you need to do, get out that business activity tracker. And during my power hours, and I have a link, I think Cece has it, if anybody ever wants to hop on.
Yeah, I felt like I had posted too much today, so I'm going to post it tomorrow.
But we actually follow along either a power hour that's on YouTube or one that's on the Beachbody Champions page. And everybody's a little bit different, but they cover all of those basic things and you can figure out what works for you best. But that has helped me just keep consistency.
Yeah.
And then also Rob Pearson was on the Action Hour a couple of weeks ago and he did like a memory jogger activity, which was really good. So if you can go to the Champions page and look at that, if you think you don't have a warm market, it's not true. So
yeah, everybody has a warm market. We all have them. But yeah, I love that. Like finding what works for you, right? Because it's going to be different for everybody because everybody's day looks different. And you have to find, and if you are trying to put yourself into something that works for somebody else and you're constantly struggling and it's stressing you out, this business is not going to be fun, right? It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. So you have to find what works for you. And if that means that on one day you are strictly inviting and the next day you are strictly following up, then that works. So you have to do what works for you. Just as long as you're checking off those boxes of I am inviting, I am sharing my journey, I am being proof of the product, and I am following up like a boss. However that works in your life, that's what you need to do. I can't do a power hour at 5:30 in the morning. More power to you, sister. I can't.
I love it. That's so good. And there are so many just little tips like that you just, over the years, I've probably taken 20 tips from 20 different people. And now I've made what I do my own,
Mm-hmm.
And there is some fumbling in the beginning. You have to find what works for you. You have to find what you're comfortable with. But I would also say you also have to challenge yourself.
For sure.
Like Lauren, like again, the whole Sunday morning thing, like I feel that's just so brilliant and such a huge point of she's making sacrifices. Everyone who is successful in this business has made some sort of sacrifice, has made multiple sacrifices. This is a business. This is not something that like is just gifted to you. We do get a lot on a silver platter in many respects, but it's still work.
Oh.
You still have to put in the work. You still have to put in the time. And it's just about those little sacrifices that you feel work for you. Maybe it's not Sunday mornings. Maybe it's Sunday night at midnight. Like whatever works for you. Like, you know, you can find things. And I had a thought now. I can't remember what it was. I was just going to point this out. Like one of the things that I used to do, and I probably should get back to, is just being really efficient with your time. Like in many respects, you want to be present. And when you're driving, you want to make sure you're driving. But like there are so many little things during the day that I do that is just 5 minutes of time here and there that could be 5 invitations, or that could be 3 follow-ups. What I used to do in the mornings, and now I've gotten in the habit of reading my 100 Days to Brave that my computer's sitting on. But what I used to do is while I was drinking my Energize, I would send out 5 invitations. You know, it's just little times like that. And so what I started doing was, like I was Pavlov's dog. And so Energize to me equaled invitations. And I would sit in the same green chair and I would drink my Energize and I would send out those 5 invitations. And that is how I started my day, like getting the thing that I don't want to do the most, working out. And the second thing I don't want to do the most, inviting, like out of the way, you know.
Just eat your frogs.
What's that?
Eating your frogs.
Exactly. So, God, I could talk all night about all this kind of stuff. Lauren, thank you so much.
Y'all, thank you
so much.
You rock the call, Lauren. See?
Thank you, Summer. Y'all, my foot is asleep because I didn't want to move because I'm so terrified that my internet is going to go out.
Yeah, Cece, the Quiet Squad call, she was fanning herself. She was nervous. She did great.
I left tennis practice early so I could dry shampoo my hair. So
oh my gosh, there was not a doubt in my mind that you were going to be amazing. And now I'm going to tell everybody I know how amazing you were. And so you're going to be on other calls. So just get used to it. So.
Okay.
It's good. Really good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Are awesome. Can we take a picture?
Helpful.
Absolutely. I did a little Instagram thingy I haven't posted yet.
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
Everybody looks so cute. Hold on. Let me get it up here. So I'm paying attention. Oh, that's me. That's not what I want. Okay, I want you guys. Should we do a boomerang?
Yes.
Ready? I'm going to not shake my, okay. Yay! We're adored.
Thank you so much. You are amazing. Amazing.
You are amazing.
And
Thank you.
I'll see you in November, right?
What's November? Oh, at Rise?